No! No! No!
Horror Pop Extravaganza.
What up, all you ghosts in the world? It's another episode of the Horror Pop Extravaganza. We're the Macabre Meets Mindful. This is your first time. Welcome. We welcome you here. Come on in, ghosts. This is a ghostly place where ghosts hang out, little kindness ghosts, trying to be kindness ghosts and do kindness things.
This
I
was for
am,
you.
I am your ghost host, Pops Ghostly. And with me, as always, is
Just a little too spooky.
just a little Duke Spooky. I was editing the last episode and I fucking laughed, dude. I forgot that you were like, little Duke. And even I like when it gets me, you know. I'm like, that probably is genuinely kind of funny, you know, if I don't know what's coming and laugh at it again. But either way, that's neither here nor there. We are here to bring the macabre and the mindful together in a really cool way and hopefully entertain you for, man, we got to get better about getting it to an hour. It's got to be so. I'm going to try and, you know, when I get talking about these movies, I'm going to try and really keep it to like that half-hour mark if possible. And then we'll use the other half hour for the pause for the living segment of the show. So we're going to get right into it. Today, we are going back to 2010, 15 years ago. 15 years ago, a little flick comes around, little haunted house movie from the creators of Saw, James Wan and Lee Wynell. Kind of the, you know, a dream team. These guys kind of work together a lot, do a lot of cool things. Some great, some not so great. But overall, I think two individuals who had a love for not just filmmaking, but horror filmmaking, got their opportunity and fucking ran with it. You know, did a cool thing with it. Insidious, I saw. Did you? You probably didn't see it in the theater. You were probably still afraid of scary movies.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
This was a good theater experience.
I
This was
bet.
a good
Yeah.
one. Yeah. Going back and rewatching it, I've got some things, and I don't know if it just hasn't aged, you know, but I've got some things. Not that it's a bad movie whatsoever, but I remember seeing in the theater with them big red letters, fucking Insidious, you know. And this was before the world of Insidious, before we had, you know, 4 or 5 sequels. We have a whole Conjuring universe with a whole bunch of these nuns and you know, Conjuring standalone movies. You got the Annabelle movies, all these different things that are kind of interconnected. Well, in 2010, they're coming off of, you know, Saw, which was really in your face, hyper graphic. And this is a complete departure from that style. This is old haunted house, ghost story movie making, which is cool. And there's some other elements. When I was just rewatching it before we did the show, I was like, holy shit, dude, like this is one of my favorite Twilight Zone episodes too. And I never really fucking put it together. And I saw something for the very first time in this that I never noticed before, is that when he's in the school sitting down with his papers, there's a chalk drawing of Billy from Saw behind him.
I saw that too. Yeah.
I'd never noticed that up until this point. I was like, yeah, dude, yeah, I'd do the same shit. You know what I mean? If it was my movies, I'd be putting little Easter eggs in there. So before we get into the full meat and potatoes of Insidious, why don't you open up that Internet Movie Database and lay it all out there? Who's in this? I already mentioned, you know, director James Wan, writer Lee Wynell. But we got some players, some cool ones. So and one of my all-time faves, dude. One of my all-time favorites. So please proceed.
All right, everybody. Are you ready for my part of the show? Here we go. I was just trying something out. I don't know. That didn't
No,
really
that's good. No, it's good. It's good. I love it.
All right, let's talk about the cats that are in this movie first. Patrick Wilson, one of the sexiest motherfuckers around.
Powerhouse, dude.
Weird that he took The Conjuring after doing these movies.
Well, he kind of stayed. He directed one of these. The most recent one, I think Patrick Wilson was at the helm behind the camera and shit. Like he is very, you know, he had he's still doing, there's a new Conjuring movie coming out. You know, it's but to your point, I just think I've never seen him in much that I didn't really like him. And he's got such a crazy spectrum, you know, from this like really lovable dad character, but then this transformative thing takes over, this evil. He plays that well. And then you go back to Hard Candy, where he plays a fucking yeah, but he plays it well, and it just shows his range as an actor. Dude's got fucking skill. And then the next name on that list, I think, is the same exact thing, dude. Just fucking talent across the board.
This is my lady. If I didn't have a lady, Rose Byrne.
I love me some Rose Byrne. And again,
Dude.
she can show up dramatically like this, but then comedy chops,
So funny.
hilarious,
Yeah.
hilarious. Yeah, she's fire.
And she does Marvel shit, man. She's like all over the place, dude. She's awesome.
Did Patrick Wilson do some Marvel shit? Aquaman. Yeah, they were both, or no, DC.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he did.
And
But
he
hey,
did
superhero
Watchmen.
movies. Oh, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
We got little Ty Simpkins playing the little kid in this from Jurassic World.
Right.
And my wife was pulling her hair out trying to figure out something else he was just in, but I couldn't remember.
I just remember Jurassic World, yeah, and that he's pretty much riding around in that dome or the little gyroscope and stuff, or the gyro balls, whatever they were. Yeah.
Kind of want to see him get 8. He was such a little punk ass in that.
He's got a little punk ass in this too. Like, get out of a coma.
His little brother was just trying to get pussy from all the chicks at the Jurassic Park, dude, and he was just kept cock blocking him. He was like, "Do you really think that girl's gonna like you?" And he was like, "Shut up, little kid."
And they're both suffering though. Like, oh, we gotta go out here because we ain't got nowhere else to go, and fucking sad. Man, Bryce Dallas Howard's Oregon. Man, we get VIP to Jurassic Park. You're right. Like, shut the fuck up, kid. Like, you got the you got the
You got
good.
VIP tickets to Jurassic Park. All these other kids had to pay, motherfucker. Fuck you.
Right.
Yeah. All right. This next one is the one I think that you've been waiting for. Mrs. Lin Shaye.
Fucking A, right, dude. Lin Shaye is a horror goddess. She has been in all of them, dude. She's been around for so long and crushes it every time, even in this little indie stuff. Because if I see her name on it, I'll watch it. And she's put out some real small, indie shit and whatnot. But she still shows up. It doesn't feel like she's ever really not there and just like, oh, I'm here for the paycheck. Yeah, she does her thing. And in this, she's got to be getting up there in age now, but and she would reprise this role a few times because in the third one, which as I was reflecting back on the whole series, I think the third one might be one of my favorite ones.
It is my favorite.
You get a ton of her, and that monster is just scary, dude. Yeah, really creepy. But yeah, Lin Shaye, we will always salute you because
And also like Rose Byrne, dude, kills it as a comedic actress.
oh yeah, dude.
Fucking Kingpin, dude.
Yeah.
Detroit Rock City.
Oh, she was so good in Detroit Rock City, just chain smoking.
Then we got Mr. Lee Wanell, the other half of the fucking
Right.
I was gonna say trifecta. That's 3 though. What is a
The dynamic
duo, I
duo,
guess.
yeah, I guess that's what you get. But he can act, and I think, this role he probably wrote for himself, so was hyper familiar with it if you write the movie. But at the same time, these two, who again show up a couple more times throughout the franchise, are just fucking like I'd watch a spinoff series of just these cats going to solve little fucking ghost stories and shit. Really fun stuff.
These are the Jay and Silent Bob of the fucking Spookiverse, dude.
You're right. You're 100% right.
And the not so silent Bob in this, dude. Angus Sampson as Tucker.
Yes.
Like, killing it, dude. This guy just comes out of nowhere and it's just fucking awesome.
He is. There's really nobody in this though who doesn't show up and perform. I think that's what helps save this movie in a lot of ways in today's world. Because at the time it was very new, but now we've had this idea sitting for a while, and it's not a new idea necessarily. The haunted house, the haunted person, the Twilight Zone episode where their little girl, they just start hearing her, and I'm pretty sure that's where Poltergeist got his shit. They just hear her coming through the walls like, help, help. And then they find a portal to another way where you can go into a netherverse or something along those lines. But yeah, anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
And lastly, history's Barbara Hershey.
History's Barbara Hershey. um, she again, another one that shows up and does a good job though, playing Josh's mom. And that's
She knew too much for my liking. She was just like, I know about this shit and it's serious.
Yeah, but we'll get to that. You go on, keep going.
Let's talk about what IMDb thinks this movie's about.
Yes.
Let me put on my IMDb voice.
Gross.
A family looks to prevent evil spirits from trapping their comatose child in a realm called the Further. That's it, dude.
Dang, that is their comatose child. Yeah, that's not a very good one.
They clearly say several times he's not in a coma.
Right.
It's not a tumor.
Well, they do say technically he's in a coma. He just has brain activity. There's no reason that he should be.
And that's not a coma. That's like I took a big, thick shit and I called it diarrhea. It's not the same thing.
Fair enough. All right, let's talk about Insidious. Because again, I'm trying to not go on for hours and hours and hours. Like
I had to look up what the fuck insidious means.
oh, it's a great word. I like to use it. Insidious and nefarious are
Oh yeah, I
two of my
like it.
favorites.
They were gonna call it the Further. Pretty glad they didn't go there.
Right. I'm glad they called it Insidious. This is a really great opening, though. I like this trippy cold open where you got a globe and it's just like a James Wan film, and then the whole camera turns. You're like, yeah, all right, we're in for some like weird and wild shit going on in this thing. We see just kind of camera panning really eerily through this house, and there's a shape out the window we see walking, and then you get one of your favorite things. A terrifying old person, because it's not just an old person, it's a fucking scary old person.
Very old person, dude.
And what is it, like a black wedding dress,
Yeah.
just the veil and just holding a candle
Mm.
smiling?
Old people
Yeah.
smiling is the worst, dude. Not an original tooth in that fucking mouth.
Get your fucking joy out of my face. We see this, and then we see her, and it's not long before we just get these giant red letters on the screen. Insidious.
I don't know if it's fair to create a jump scare out of the opening credits.
And this thing is a lot of jump scares, dude. There's also some really good atmosphere, but going back and watching it, but this was before we had the overwhelming amount of jumps. Like jump scares have always been a thing. They go back to, I mean, since we started making movies, they'll fucking pop something up in your face real quick and be like, "Ah." Same thing with comedy, you know, comedy just doesn't call it jump scare. It's more like a surprise laugh. And it's just like, oh, that's a funny fucking, I didn't expect that, you know, just subverting expectations. But this movie's got a lot of them. It's got some stuff not so jumpy, but it's got a lot of the jump scare shit.
There's a jump scare in this, dude. It's the first one, and it's when she goes into the nursery, and there's something behind the curtain, and you can kind of just barely see what's there. I flinched so fucking hard that I went into convulsions, dude. Like I couldn't stop myself. Like I was like, I'm still scared of it, and I couldn't stop. And Lauren looked over at me like, "What the fuck's wrong with you?" And I was like, "I just had a mini seizure. It scared me so bad."
The guy behind the curtains is scary.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of little shit. Like even when you get to the kid tiptoe through the tulips, you see him when she walks in the house. If you pay attention, he's right
Yeah.
there, just standing.
There's so much stuff going on in the
So
background.
much,
Oh, I
so
love it.
much stuff going on. And we even got that through the entirety of the title cards. There's pictures, and you'd see like footsteps happen or something moving, this and that. We wake up with Rose Byrne, matching pajamas with her kid, quickly understand they just moved into this house. She goes down, is looking through old photos. We get some foreshadowing. Why is there no pictures of dad when he was a kid? I don't know. Fucking dad ain't got no pictures. That'll come up later. She's trying to manage a lot of shit. She's got a brand new baby, two sons, trying to cook, like pulling bowls out of, mom, let me get a bowl. And she pulls one out of a box, trying to like customer service, yelling on the phone with the thing. And he's going off to work. We start to see for the first couple
He's
days.
brushing his fucking teeth, bro. I said, I stopped it. I paused it and I said, wife, he's a fucking asshole, yeah? Yeah. She's doing all this shit. Make him fucking call the fucking phone company.
Right. But I think she is, I want to know. I mean, I thought he was like a high school teacher. I don't know, but how do they afford
How'd
like
they find that house? That's what I said too, dude. Yeah, because he is like, his kids are little. He ain't no
Right.
professor. He ain't no Dr. Jones.
He's
Fuck
not.
this guy, dude.
And she is recovering from some kind of trauma. She's unloading her books or whatever. Oh yeah, that's the first thing we see. She's unloading her books, and then she goes to look again, and all the books are knocked over. That's our first little "Whoo."
Every ghost, dude's got to fuck with the books.
Right, dude.
Why don't ghosts like reading?
It's like I already read it. Already read it. Spent eternity already reading them all. I'm just hanging out in the
Read
library.
every book in this house. You suck.
Right. Fuck you. So
Get cable.
she is recovering from some kind of trauma. She plays the piano, is looking for her sheet music. She goes up into the little attic area, acts like she hadn't been up there yet. So maybe they just
Oh,
moved in yesterday. Who
yeah.
knows? Yeah.
And they apparently didn't look at the house before they purchased it because there is at least double the square footage if you go up into the attic.
Humongous.
Humongous attic.
And a Freddy Krueger boiler going off, turning itself on, and things like that. And,
Self-activated in this old house. I was really impressed.
right. And she is a little weary, but nothing too crazy yet. He comes home from work. Dalton goes up there and gets hurt. He gets fucking tries to climb up ladder, hit the thing, and falls down, hits his head, but we don't see him crying at all. He's just looking off into the darkness.
Yeah.
Something's calling
He
to him.
goes up into the attic of a new house that he's not familiar with a
Mhm.
little flashlight, and he's like looking around up there. It's the scariest environment possible. And this little 8-year-old kid is doing this. I called bullshit on it immediately.
Bullshit
I
artist.
thought, you know what? Maybe Little Pops Ghostly would have done that because he liked to be doing the spooky stuff.
I don't know, man. When I was a kid, after Child's Play came out, I was young, probably like 6. And I remember taking my brother's My Buddy doll and hiding it in the bottom of my sister's closet. They both shared a room. And my logic was if it woke up, started killing, I'd hear them yelling and have time to run.
A monster.
Hey, I was very impressionable. So next morning, after he hits his head, because he starts crying, they go up there. Oh, fuck, buddy. Well, don't do that. You scared us. Da da da. And then he goes to wake him up the next morning and he's like, hey, Dalton, get up. Fuck, get up, kid. Yada, yada, yada. Start shaking. Yeah, 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 yeah. We realize he's not up. Get the specialist in there and he's in a not coma.
Not coma.
Right.
This kid's the biggest puss in the world, and his name's Dalton, like named after fucking Roadhouse. And
Right.
he's the biggest bitch. There's no way, dude. He even tried to grow his hair like Dalton.
Oh, you can't be another Dalton, though.
No.
There's only one Dalton. But this kid is at the hospital just for a short time before they bring him home. And they've got nurse again. Where's the money
Don't
coming
know
from?
what's going on. Yeah, home care with a stand-in nurse. No way, dude.
Right. So
On a
expensive.
single income with like 4 fucking kids. Rose Byrne's got all these dreams of playing piano. She gave up her life for him.
See, and I think she was a teacher or something too, but that's when like
Music
something
teacher, maybe?
happened. Something happened with her though, like something mentally. She went through some kind of something that led them to moving to get here, I believe anyway. So over the next, I want to say it might be that night or the night after when he comes home, the alarm goes off.
The
It's
worst alarm
screaming and
ever,
shit.
dude. Oh, so loud.
And she's getting a lot of the experiences while he's at work, and he just keeps regressing into staying at work longer and longer. He doesn't want to be in the house. Something's keeping him away, but he's not sure what it is. And she's seeing shit move around. She even tells him, like, yo, fucking blah, this is crazy.
The scene on the baby monitor, dude, was pretty scary.
Yeah, you just hear these like, you're like, and then you hear like, I want the baby, or some crazy shit like that. Audio jump scares. Audio jump scares. She runs up there and baby's fine. And she's like, what the hell? I swear there was somebody. And I think that's right before when the alarm goes off. He starts staying there longer. She's getting more and more upset about everything. She brings a priest over, hoping that that'll help to resolve things. And he's very dismissive, just like, whatever, man. Like, we don't need no priest. We don't need none of this. We don't need none of that. And she's like, something's wrong, man. Something's wrong. And it takes him coming home at like 10:30 at night one night. Um, and she's on the porch, like, I need you here with me. you're here, but you're not here in this situation. We need to go. And he's like, all right. And they pack up and move. And I'm like, that's
Yeah, I was
smart.
like, dang, must have plenty of money in the bank. They didn't put a very big down payment down on that house.
Right.
They were able to turn around, didn't have to worry about capital gains tax for moving before 2 years, none of that.
Right. Right. Yeah. It was she her mom, or no, his mom starts to come into the picture at this point. Once they get into their new place, and she's like, "Oh, I know somebody," and that's when we meet Elaine, played by the amazing Lynn Shay, who is a supernatural conduit. It seems like she can take it all in, depending on one way or another. She comes to the house
Why are the supernatural helpers are always really little?
because they have big power inside. If they were big with that big power, it'd be scary.
Yeah, dude.
You wouldn't want that.
Jason Momoa came in here. He was like, "We're gonna get rid of some ghosts."
I bet you the ghosts would just leave on their own and
They
just
would, dude. He
walk
just pull
in.
his schlong out, dude, and see the big old Hawaiian tattoo on it, and they're like, "We're fucking out. We can't compete with that."
The red demon runs like crazy. Ah!
Ah, it's Vin, it's Vin Diesel. No, what if
Right.
it's Vin Diesel and Jason Momoa? What
That's
if
too
they
much.
were the two Ghostbuster guys?
I might actually watch that shit. If they
I
were
would-
like goofy buddy cop Ghostbusters, I would take it all day. But they just like flexed on ghosts, like headlock and wrestle them and stuff.
Yeah, dude. They were like that Zach Baggins guy. They're like, "Come out, fucking ghost!"
Oh, what was the name of that show? Was that Ghost Hunters or Ghost
Ghost Encounters, I
Ghost
think.
Encounters? Ghost
Yeah.
Encounters. So, oh yeah, we talked about it because we did a Grave Encounters episode.
Oh yeah, yeah. That
Yeah,
guy just died because he was fucking around with Annabelle for real.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Which circumstances are a lot of things, but sometimes in life it's like, oh, I'm going on tour with this supposedly super haunted doll. And then, oh no.
There's like 4 movies about his doll that he fucked around with and found out.
Oh, dude.
Ugh.
Yeah,
What was
crazy.
he thinking?
Wasn't no, it was like, oh, the Warrens are gone. I'll take that thing over.
I'm
Yep.
booking a cruise on the Titanic too. I can't wait. We're gonna rechart what the Titanic did and go through the ice infested waters.
Dude, make it happen. So so many assholes would be like, I want to try it. Just you got enough lifeboats this time? Let's try and smash it and see what happens.
Like, just because we're gonna throw it in the face of God. No, we don't have enough lifeboats for everybody.
Right. You got to fight for it.
But this boat's unsinkable.
Man, they really believe that too. Okay, so back to Insidious. We are amplifying quickly all of the madness that is going on in the house. You get the creepy little tiptoe by the window. This little, 1930s like newspaper boy who's just in there jigging around. And she goes to look under the thing and he pops out above her and you get this jump scare. We get Elaine after she shows up. She knows right away. She's like, this ain't right. She's looking up at the corner, and Dalton had been drawing pictures of red doors and astral projection. Him like, I'm flying away. I see my own body. And all of this, Elaine knows immediately. She's like, this is not a good place. But the two dudes show up first and they're like, oh, we got to get some preliminary shit. And he takes a picture and sees two. He's just got like what was that thing called? A
Just look at a viewmaster.
Viewmaster.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
He's got different colors in his Viewmaster and these ghosts pop up right in his face. All Elaine right now. Once she's there, she comes in, looks up, and we see the drawing of the demon. She's like, I just whispered to him, and then, whatever comes through, and we see the red demon up in the corner. And the red demon is cool. I don't know if it's since the first time I saw this movie, I never really fully liked the design choices of the red demon.
Me neither. He looks like Darth Maul.
And with the buns, like Darth Maul and Leia had a
Yeah.
baby, and he's got to. That'd be a badass fucking
That'd be a
motherfucker,
badass
dude.
baby.
That would be a badass baby.
Fucking Leia Maul.
Yeah. But yeah, and the goat feet, I kind of get that. The tail, but the design just never fully worked. I think as a jump scare, it kind of worked the first time it's behind Patrick Wilson's shoulder or whatever. It's like, that's. But now when you get really good looks at it, it's like, eh, but that's neither here nor there. So she does this gas mask seance that's really gnarly. And what I will give James Wan and all of the cast and everything and the crew, the camera work is dope.
For sure.
He does so many long tracking shots, tricky shots, foggy shit. You could see a couple times. I'm pretty sure it was the same hallway, but they just redressed it, and that was probably intentional. But yeah, just finding really cool ways to communicate this disorientation or disassociation. Like everything's not right. There's
There's a
no,
really cool scene when she sees the little kid doing the tippy toes through the fog.
yeah,
It's all in one take, and she goes around the whole house, and like as she
yeah.
crosses the window frame, he's gone, and then she comes back around and he's in another area. That was really well done.
Really crafty, and that's what even as storytellers and as filmmakers, they're crafty people. It's what they do. I'm not sure if the kids, one of the other kid is at the mom's house. I want to say Josh's
It
mom's
just
house
disappears all of a sudden, and I didn't really know
and the
why.
baby.
Like he's the
Yeah.
older sister from Poltergeist. Just goes hangs out at her boyfriend's house or something.
Right. It's just gone. You're right. Yeah, she didn't show back up for a while. The gas mask thing, like I was saying, is super cool. He's writing all these fucked up things on the, and she's whispering. He's got a almost like cans with a string tied in between, but it's just a big hose connected to his headphones. And then everything that she's whispering into this thing is he's jotting down, and it's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you, whore, and all these things, and da 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 da. So she's filtering in whatever this demonic presence is. Everybody gets blasted away from the table when the kid walks up and is just like points over and slam, and they fly everywhere. Very heavy and effects driven, cool shit. In my opinion, this movie's about 25 minutes too long.
Yeah,
I,
totally.
I think you could trim. We have a lot of this house,
Yeah, a
a
lot.
lot of walking around with Josh because now we've determined that he's in the nether, he's trapped there, he astral projected this evil thing, and then Josh's mom is like, wait, there's more. When you were a little kid, fuck, there's an old scary lady in all your pictures. you, you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
And she's like, that's how I met Elaine because in every picture, and this was a really cool sequence. There's a lot of moments in this thing with great tension. Not all of them, but there's a lot of good moments. And this was cool as you're flipping through the pictures and you just see this figure that was way out in this field is now closer behind a tree. And then, hand reaching out to get onto his shoulder. And so his mom lets him know, hey, you were just like this. We had to repress all of your memories, I think, in order to make you not remember any of this shit. But I guess Elaine could probably do that. She seems like she'd do all kinds of crazy shit. But we have to send you back in. You got to go find Dalton. And that was the Twilight Zone episode. Is the dad goes in. He goes into the whatever the sorry, I'm just trying to adjust this real quick. He goes into whatever the portal is in the wall and has to find his daughter. And this is kind of the same thing, only in a nightmare. You've got
It's also had to go into the wall.
yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, absolutely. Um, but this set dressing is really cool. I like this gothic-y at times, red everywhere, but then other times just void black expanse with a little bit of fog. And I like when Patrick Wilson wakes up to it all and he's like, this shit ain't never gonna work. And then he's looking at himself from in the corner. He's like, oh fuck. And then everything dissipates. And he, I think, leaves the house and then comes back around and goes back inside the house.
Yeah.
But we have some monsters, all of them while he's under start getting bombarded by all these spirits that we've started to see throughout the entirety of the movie. They're showing up in doors and closets, shine the lights on them, blah, blah, blah. And he's in the chair like, and they're like, oh, fuck. You can fight them. Don't worry. You're alive. You've got the real power. And he's like, get away. I do it again. This demon monster goes flying into the darkness.
What if this was a Van Damme movie?
I'd watch it all day long. I want
Get
to.
out of your monsters.
Right. You don't got time. Let's go. So he finds the red door that we had seen in Dalton's drawings and other imagery that were from his drawings, a horse, something else, a carousel horse or something like that. You've got creepy dolls all over the place. He's up there sharpening his nails with the like a grindstone, a hand turning grindstone. There was one great sequence though before we got to the red door that I would like to mention. The weird family in the living room, that 1950s kind of, and the dad's just they're all perfectly still, and the dad's just like, and then well, almost a little bit of Amityville coming
Yeah.
up there, which was cool. But he does find Dalton, and Dalton's like, "Fuck dad," which you would be. He's like, I'm chained to the floor, Dad. I don't know what we're gonna do. And he's like, we'll figure it out. Don't worry. He gets the monster shows up behind him, and I can't remember exactly how he breaks the kid free, but he gets the kid free, and they start running away from the demon. This is when we really see the red demon up close. You see all the facial features, like you said, very dark or Darth Maul in a lot of ways, but and with the Leia buns. Again, to each their own. Maybe this is based on an actual, demon from some lore somewhere that I'm unfamiliar with. They take off running. There's people chasing after him, trying to get away from the demon guy. He's got Dalton. They get lost in the dark. It's foggy everywhere. What are we going to do? They get to the house. They see the house, end up getting back inside the house. And he's like, Dalton, fucking run. I'll be right there. I got to, stop this. Meanwhile, in the real world, Elaine's, oh, fuck, they're coming. I can feel it, you know? And as much as I love Lynn Shay, I love Zelda Rubinstein and anything that woman was in. She brought a something special to it. It was so good. So it's chaos everywhere. There's stuff going on all over the place. You got to come back, Josh. You got to come back. Dalton's looking around trying to find his room. He runs into his parents' room. The red demon's there. Ah, someone's grabbed me under the bed. Ah, but this shit takes place over, I feel like a half an hour. It goes on for a
Yeah.
a long time. And he eventually gets back to his body, but before Josh can get back to his, he stops at this mirror and sees on the other side the old woman in the black wedding dress smiling with the candle. And he starts, and this is cool camera work too, just doing the full flip kind of 360 all the way around. And he's like, I'm not afraid of you. I'm not afraid of you. Da 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 da. We're over this. Blah blah blah. And we never really see a full resolution of that, but Josh does get back to his body. We just see, I think, the woman in the wedding dress like fade off backwards into the darkness. A lot of really cool like dolly shit too, like pulling people around to make it look like they're floating. Just yeah, very good stuff. So ta-da!
Did
Everybody's
it.
back. Yeah, we did it. We made it out of the nether or the further. And we've got Dalton who's eating like huge spaghetti, and mom's like, you're never going to sleep again. I can't fucking believe this shit's crazy. Um, and Josh's mom is in the kitchen with Dalton and Rose Byrne, and now I can't think of her name all the time I have it, but Rose Byrne's character. And we have Patrick Wilson. Josh is in the living room with Elaine, helping break down tripods and stuff. Like, oh man, it's fucking awesome that this thing is finally over. I'm glad that we made it out of this alive. She goes to take something from him or shake his hand and gets this weird look on her face, like something is just a little bit off. And throughout the whole movie, they're like, he doesn't like having his picture taken and shit. And that's because I guess he had repressed all those memories from when he was a kid and just couldn't subconsciously. He was like, "Oh, don't take pictures of me." But she reaches down in this box, and Lin Shay, she kills it too, dude. Like she plays the fit, like she wears the acting so well. The expression she has about everything. She can act with her eyes and her face, and just she pulls out a camera and real quick in his face. He's like, why'd you do that? I don't like that shit. Like, why'd you take a picture of me? Why? And then he jumps on her and just starts two-hand choking her. And I remember in the theater this happening and being like, fuck, like, where did this come from? Now we've come to expect it in a world where a lot of this stuff has been ingrained in all of us. It's part of the zeitgeist. But at this time, he jumps on her and he's just choking the shit out of her until she's dead right there. She just gone. She gone. And then his wife and his mom come walking into the room, and we have a quick flashback of Elaine with the camera, and we see in the camera that it was the old scary lady the whole time. Finally got Josh and wanted to take him over. Roll credits. Roll credits. So I do have a quick question before we get into the grading portion, the rating portion. So when did you see this then for the first time?
I saw this when it first came out, like on to rent, so it was probably 2010.
Mm. Yeah, and I guess, going back and watching this, I feel like this is a great introductory movie to the horror genre for someone.
Right.
It's got scares, it's got thrills, but it's not overwhelmingly the taking of Deborah Logan or, an extreme exorcist movie or some shit like that. I do think it's a story that has been told a few times, and that's always hard to do. But
Mhm.
you're a writer, no stories are new anymore or some shit. There's some quote about it, like no stories are new anymore, whatever. But this one, and this was hard for me, kind of like last week when we were talking about Until Dawn, and my rating went down a little bit. It's really sitting and rewatching this one. I was like, my fucking rating kind of went down a little bit. It
Yeah.
doesn't, I mean, it didn't go down a lot or anything, but it just, I don't think holds up to these two individuals once they really establish their voices. And even one of my favorites is the one not a lot of people like is the fucking doll one, Dead Silence. I love
Right.
that with the marionettes and shit, or the ventriloquist dummies and whatnot. So, but yeah, everything's subjective, but it just didn't have that same punch. Now, in 2010, when I saw it, whatever it was, I give it all the kudos. It's almost for a lot of people like watching the original Halloween. I hear all the time like it's slow, like and I'm like, but that's the point, like the tension, the fucking Hitchcockian tension.
Right.
So let's
I think
see.
that's what this one was going for. It was an homage to a lot of different things that came
Yeah,
before. It was very masterfully done. Unfortunately, in 2010, we weren't ready to step backwards.
right.
And also, it was right
No,
around this time.
I think in 2010 we were. I think that's why this did really well in 2010 because we were coming off like Hostel and fucking all the torture porn shit that
Right.
was.
Right. This was that switch where we went into the realm of PG-13 horror for a while with
Yeah,
Boogeyman and I Know What You Did Last Summer and all of
yeah.
those. And it felt like they all just kind of mixed together into
I don't
one.
think I Know What You Did Last Summer was PG-13. I don't think either of those were, but I know exactly what you're talking about. I
Yeah.
do know what you mean. Yeah. There were, and I think will always be a certain level of those. This one's just done extraordinarily well. Like you said, the execution is
Right.
just fire. For me, it just fur. I always be like fur. It must be a Midwest thing. Fur. For me, the runtime is really what gets me. And
Yeah.
I think they were exploring things, probably excited young filmmakers, let's put this shit in here, dude. We got the money now. We got that Saw money.
It's a sophomore effort too. So it's that they're like, we got all the balls and none of the dick.
This message is brought to you by Donald J. Trump. I showed that shit to my kid and he was fucking dying. I was like, "Did you see that fucking new South Park episode?" But anyway, so out of five fake comas, how many do you give the first Insidious?
In 2010, this was a 3, and rewatching it, it's a 2.5. And it just really suffers from pacing. It's
Yeah.
all about the pacing for me. Everything else was really well done. Like the Darth Maul thing, that hurts it a lot too. I laughed the first time I saw the demon instead of like being like, "Oh, that's so scary." But it's got so much other stuff in it that is really scary. So they were playing with a lot of different things, and sometimes you play with it and it just doesn't work out the way you want in the end.
Just doesn't get hard. Much as you play with it, it just doesn't. So, and I'm even being a little nicer than you. I went into it memory wise. I was like, this is like a 3.5, 4 somewhere for me. I'm giving it a solid three, a
Okay.
solid three, because again, I feel for someone who wants to dip their toe into the horror universe, if you haven't been overwhelmed with so much content, horror content over the years, that this is a really good point. You know, like you said, if you had a 13 to 15-year-old kid having some friends over or something, like we want to watch something fucking scary, you could throw that on without having to worry about some parent calling you like, yo, why'd you watch fucking a Serbian film when my fucking kid was there? I'm like, listen, they said they'd seen weirder shit on YouTube. I was
Birthdays just hit different now, bro. Grow with the time.
right, right. So it's a solid three for me. It's fun. Like I mentioned earlier, this spawned a bunch of sequels. I really like the third one. I think that one's a really fun ride. But all of them I've spent time with. I don't know if I'll go back to them a ton outside of maybe that third one because man, that fucker, it's creepy.
Yeah.
That is a creepy atmosphere. Oh, so good. All right. So before we get to the pause for the living segment, what do we have next week?
Ooh, I'm gonna have to look this one up actually.
I've been trying. I'm gonna while you're looking that up. I've been trying this whole episode not to shit my pants. I have had.
Dude, me too. I was gonna tell you, like, I
I've
gotta poo before we record. And you were like, 5 minutes, bro, we're on. And I was like, all right, I'm just gonna hold it.
I've had the craziest bubble guts.
Ugh.
Might be a horror pop extravaganza first if we could both crap our pants.
I give
At the
this
same
two shits
time.
my pants. Next week is Clown in the Cornfield.
All right, clown in a cornfield. Whew.
Woo!
That's gonna be one.
Haven't seen this one, so
Oh, yeah. So I'm excited. I guess I'm interested then. I won't say too much more about it, but I'm interested to see what you think about it. Okay, let's pause for the living before we wrap up the show for this week. And this is the segment where we just take a little time, be a little mindful, try to think a little mindfully. Yeah. Tried there for a second. All right. Yeah. So this kind of corresponds with the stuff we were talking about last week in distractions and things like that. And I was able to finish essentially like the meat and potatoes of a project that I've been working on for, let's see, I've been tattooing 4 years and some change. So it's been at least 4 years, maybe a little bit longer. I guess it's probably also a lifetime of, trying to gather up some knowledge and shit, kind of. But really, it came about as the tattoo thing. And I've still got a little ways to go on it. I need to write an afterword, I need to write an introduction. I took the time to write today a suggested reading list. It was like 100 and some odd books. I'm like, and these are all books. I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, that and that for that reason. Yeah, 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 this and that. So I'm gonna have to trim some fat on there and write the introduction and do all that stuff. If it is hard to really accomplish things in a distracted environment,
impossible.
maybe
Well, I mean, you can do it, but you're not gonna do it to your best.
I would agree with you there.
And
It's
being a parent is like you're never gonna not be distracted. You're always gonna have some little shit ass coming in saying something that is annoying. And you're just like, oh, I love them.
it as. But this for me is something that I hope eventually, my kids might even look at one day and be like, oh shit,
Never thought about that. I take everything back. I just said I love it,
yeah. They the distractions in our life, man, and I'm trying to break some off right now. That shit is fucking hard, dude. Like I've been doing some of this shit. I feel like by as long as I can remember.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's really hard. And I want to express that to people. Like the things that I talk about on this show and the things that I wrote down in this stuff, like it's none of it has been easy. but I guess nothing in life is easy. You know, anything worthwhile, nothing
Yeah.
is really there. But I was very excited to finish this thing up. And I did realize, like, I started trimming a couple things, a couple minutes here, a couple minutes there, a couple, following my own advice. Essentially, I'm like, yo, I got to live this shit if I'm going to ask somebody else to do it. It's incredible what you can accomplish with even a half hour of focused effort.
Yeah.
With saying, you know what, I'm just going to put my time into this right now. An hour, even better. I think if we could all even just do 2 hours a day outside of our jobs, and it sucks because jobs are hard. And there's been some that I've had where I worked crazy hours and it made my life really hard to navigate working, 3 p.m. to 3 a.m. and doing that 4 days in a row and then trying to be normal for 3 days and then going back and doing that. I do understand that. And that shit is hard. However, I think we all have little areas we could cut some of the fat out and be like, yo, I'm just going to use this time for something. Even if that something is nothing, I'm going to make sure I have time to rest. And resting, some people might disagree with me, but to me, resting is not reading a book or laying down and watching TV. Resting is just laying there with your eyes closed and letting your body just relax, learning how to relax. And that's a hard thing to do too, is learning how to relax. But when you're in a more relaxed state more frequently, I think it makes the whole resting shit easier. But when I was writing, there was a section where I look at my own behavior, and I'm even thinking now about moving my phone further away from my bed so I can't get to it so quickly in the morning.
Yeah. I
Cause
used to pull that shit on myself to get up because I wouldn't wake up for my alarm, or I would just hit it and shut it off.
right.
But now I have to every time leave it on the fucking counter so that it's so annoying I have to get up and deal with it.
That's smart though. That's smart. That's putting an obstacle in the way that you have to deal with. That's smart. But for a lot of us, it's like we have something coming in from the moment we wake up to the moment we go to sleep,
Mhm.
kind of, or we fall asleep. For me, for so many years, and even sometimes still, I'll fall asleep with something on, not on TV. I don't have a TV in my bedroom anymore, but I might turn like an old radio show or some shit on my phone and just kind of nod off while it's playing. I'm trying to even get a little bit away from that. I'm like, just fucking rest.
Yeah, just lay there and go to sleep.
Right.
Go to sleep.
And I feel because of that constant like that it's hard to go to sleep because your brain is still reeling a little bit. But if you want things out of life, if you want to try and do something, you got to just fucking do it. There's really no, you got to either do it and make it happen, make a plan, do something about it, or give up the idea of it. Because all you're going to do is create a bunch of new suffering, thinking, like, oh, I should be fucking doing that, shouldn't I? Fuck, fuck, suck at this job. Fuck you. Fuck you. You know, hate this shit. Whereas in your heart, you're like, I know I should be doing the other thing. So I would suggest try one or the other. Either just give it up. It's not going to hurt you to give it up, even though it feels like sometimes. But I do believe we all have something that we're naturally pulled towards, whether that be the sciences, whether that be nature, whether that be art, whether that be whatever, math, it could be anything. If you fight that for so long, that fucking really does a number on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I am an individual who I think just naturally leans toward the artistic side of things. That doesn't mean I'm a natural artist. I really don't believe in that like talent idea. It's more like, yeah, you worked your ass off. But if you can find something that you lean towards and then work your ass off at it, that seems to make life a little bit a little bit cooler. And that could be almost anything. But yeah, I guess at the end of the day, the big pause for the living this week was just, if you want to do something, find the time, cut things out of your life, find the time and make it happen. Because nobody's ever going to do it for you. And you see what happens when people just get a bunch of shit handed to them,
Mhm.
it usually doesn't like go well.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, from the outside, people are always like looking at me and being like, God damn, dude, you're always doing stuff. You're always doing something, but you don't do anything. And I'm like, yeah. I mean, it really does. Like I knew I was going back to work on Monday. And so I kind of had 2 weeks where I knew I was going to have to go back to work. And
Sure.
I have so much stuff that I have to complete in 2 weeks. And I just have gone from one thing to the next, but I always made sure that I wasn't thinking about the other thing when I was doing
That's good.
something.
Be
You know, I
present.
really, yeah, I really tried to. The only thing you can't do is eliminate, like I said, your kids. I'm sitting down there, I'm trying to figure out how two molding pieces are supposed to go together on the edge on the corner and
Yeah.
trying to figure out how that cut goes. And then my kid comes in and is like, "Can you come clean the pool?" I'm like, "How about I strangle you and leave you here for dead? How about that?" And then he's like, "I'll clean the pool." But like I wind up, I'm like, I feel bad, and I go upstairs and I clean the pool, and then I have to come back to it. But I never like think of like, well, cleaning the pool is a waste of time because I'm like, I needed to clean the pool anyway. I'm
Right.
just cleaning the pool when I wanted to clean the pool. But don't hang yourself up so much on like your schedule. Move shit around.
And it's in,
Get loose.
you said I'll strangle you and leave you here for dead. How about that? You also would have the option of being like, hey, you want to fucking stay here and help out, learn how to do some shit? That's
Right, but he wants to
awesome.
go swimming, and I
That's also
always
fair.
will. I'll always do extra work so my kids don't have to, and that's bad too.
I don't
Like you
know. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I
do it
think that's
all the
we
time.
all want to do that. You know, you can't beat yourself up about that. You want to give your kids, I think the goal is to just be a little bit better than the generation before you. If you do
True.
that,
But my kids are weaponizing incompetence though. Like my kid is just like, I can't turn the mower around, Dad. I can't get it turned in the grass. There's too much grass. And I'm like, you're literally there to cut that grass. Figure it out. And he's just like, comes in like just sweaty, dude. And I look outside and it's barely like pushed it 4 inches. And I'm like, what? How are you so sweaty?
now have you showed him how to cut the grass?
Yeah, I was like, look, stupid, you do it like this and you just turn it and it's easy. Figure it out. It's not rocket science. No, I'm not that mean to my
No,
kid.
no, no. I can't imagine you are. You are kind of like you sound like Homer Simpson in so many ways, though.
A little bit though.
I'm like, oh
Yeah.
my goodness, you're a TV dad. But let me read you this. This is from Chamber 3, but this is just one quote from somebody else. This is from Marcus Aurelius, and kind of
Russell Crowe?
what's that?
Russell Crowe?
No, no, not Russell Crowe. So this dude was one of the greatest rulers of really kind of any like developed world, you know, and just had an outlook that's even so I gave this whole, you know, writing to my wife and I was like, yo, read this. Let me know honestly what you think. And she asked me about him because I'd be talking about this cat a lot. Like he's inspired a lot of my thinking. She's like, how long ago was he? I'm like, in fucking almost 2,000 years. She's like, fuck. Like it's still, you know what I mean? And so I'll read you the quote and a lot of what we're talking about here. Do external things distract you? Then make time for yourself to learn something worthwhile. Stop letting yourself be pulled in all directions. Hang on, let me turn my brightness up a little bit. I can see two things, Jack and shit.
And Jack just left town.
Jack did just leave town. All right, we'll start fresh. Just so, all right. Do external things distract you? Then make time for yourself to learn something worthwhile. Stop letting yourself be pulled in all directions, but make sure you guard against the other kind of confusion. People who labor all their lives but have no purpose to direct every thought and impulse toward are wasting their time, even when hard at work. Marcus
Yes.
Aurelius. So you can work your ass off sometimes, but if it's not purposeful, what's the, you know, are you just being busy to be distracted? Or are you just being busy for the sake of being busy because you were told you need to be busy? But yeah, I think he, you know, and that shit's thousands of years old, dude. How does it ring more true now, probably than it even did then? They couldn't be as distracted. They
Yeah,
had
what were they distracted with? Oh, I fucking saw a cool stick today.
it wasn't they were thinking people. There was a lot of cool things happening at the time, but I get what you're saying, you know what I mean? There wasn't they were distracted by everybody just get in the Coliseum and let's watch motherfuckers fight bears and shit.
What'd you have for lunch today? Rotten fish and olive oil that's been in a fucking bowl for 6 months. She said, isn't that what you had? Yeah, dude, I had that yesterday and today.
Right. Delicious. But yeah, and this dude, I want to say, lost like 4 of his 8 kids, spent almost 10 years on a battlefield, like never fucking left.
Maybe not the best dad.
And no, but he was still writing all this like, oh, you can only control what you can control. Like that's, and even there was a few things I read because I've read a couple of biographies and stuff too that they said he would even like walk around the palace and shit and like put himself in check. Like he's like just stuff, just, in more eloquent words of the time or whatever. But yeah, like just stuff like don't get too pompous. Don't be an asshole. You're just a person.
Yeah, he'd walk on the battlefield and they were like, we're gonna block out the sky with arrows. And he was like, then we'll fight in the shade, motherfucker.
I don't think it was quite like that.
It was exactly like that, dude. He was the Samuel Jackson of the fucking Greek Roman times.
Fair enough. But yeah, find what distracts you and remove it and point towards something worthwhile. And I think if you just sit with yourself for a little while, you'll figure out or you'll know that thing that this is my jam. I want to move closer to that. If you're not in that already, I think there's some people out there probably living fucking great, contented. I hope so. I really hope so. I think we need more people living like, yeah, this feels right. This feels natural.
Right.
It doesn't feel like fucking stabbing a bunch of people or shooting a bunch of people. And, this feels natural. I want to help some people try to get to that place. So, do you have anything else you would like to add to the pause for the living?
Nope, I think I spoke my piece.
Sweet, sweet, sweet. So we will talk to you next week when we bring Clown in a Cornfield. I've got some things to say. Until then, I have been Pops Ghostly.
And I'm Little Duke Spooky.
And there go my pants.
Oh, got a poop.
No! No! No!
Horror Pop Extravaganza.